Herschel,
Yes, sir.
I got you some condoms.
Yes, hey,
If you wear
the
condoms, you won't get the girls pregnant, and you won't have to pay for the abortions.
During his campaign for the Senate, Herschel Walker destroyed his own legacy.
I said, what we need to do is let's go in our neighborhood and let's become fathers of those fatherless child. Meaning, let's try to direct them in the right way.
He bemoaned fathers that left children behind.
I stayed silent as the atrocities committed against my mom were downplayed. I stayed silent when it came out that my father, Herschel Walker, had all these random kids across the country, none of whom he raised. And my favorite issue to talk about is father absence. Surprise, because it affected me.
And his son, Christian, a MAGA troll more times than not, said, you know what, enough is enough.
And it's kind of interesting.
Which then brought Glenn Beck minion Elijah Schaffer of The Blaze, well, formerly.
I was silent lie after lie after lie. The abortion card drops yesterday. It's literally his handwriting in the card. They say they have receipts, whatever. He gets on Twitter. He lies about it. Okay, I'm done. Done. Everything has been a lie.
While Herschel's son, the one he actually acknowledges, took a sledgehammer to his father's campaign, well, Schaffer, who has a history of his own, unloaded on Christian Walker. Thus, they fought it out in public view.
Really thankful for Herschel Walker's son for helping Democrats secure another Senate seat, a seat in the Senate. By the way, the incumbent was Democrat Raphael Warnock, so he just kept his seat. Nobody is better at electing Democrats than Republicans. Really spectacular job this round. All the criticism from our own base, lack of support from Mitch, 10 out of 10 every time.
So here is what he tweeted.
As Brandon Straka once said at an event I attended, hell hath no fury like a pissed off gay man. Ha ha ha, happy pride y'all. And then he says, but he was a bad candidate, quoting people who referred to Herschel Walker as a bad candidate, which he absolutely was. If you're a Republican and say something like this, you should switch parties. This wasn't about the candidate, saying the quiet parts out loud here.
And Christian would tweet this reply. I recommend you not come for me, or I'll have to tell your wife how you had sex with my friend at the Turning Point TPUSA event in 2021 while you were married to her. I don't like cheaters. But there's more, if you can believe it. This loser was fired from his job for SA and then also had banged my friend 4 times in one night at a conservative conference while he was married and she didn't know. Get your family life together before you speak on mine, adulterer. Go to the next video.
Family values, people. He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them. He was out having sex with other women. Do you care about family values?
The firing from The Blaze was in reference to the result of a weeks-long internal investigation into an allegation that he had groped a colleague's breast without her consent, according to a person close to the incident. In late August of 2022, Schaffer was accused of groping Sarah Gonzalez, another host at The Blaze, without her consent at a film premiere. Family values, people, of course.
But previously, Elijah Schaffer had some, judgmental things to say about others. Let's go to graphic 7 here. If women stop sleeping around, excessively drinking, gossiping, acting like total, he says bitches, cheating, etc., and instead focused on building character, acted gracefully, dressed modestly, they'd realize that as you start acting like a decent woman, you'll run into decent men. Like you, Elijah?
The alleged incident took place in Dallas on August 26 at the premiere of Uncle Tom 2, a conservative film that Schaffer co-produced, because of course, Gonzalez and Schaffer were seated next to one another according to a picture that Schaffer tweeted before the film. As the film played, according to a complaint made to management at The Blaze and described to the Daily Beast, an intoxicated Schaffer began to grope Gonzalez's breasts. The accusations prompted an investigation at Blaze Media into Schaffer's behavior, according to the person close to the incident who asked not to be named for fear of being punished for speaking to a media outlet. Because the right loves free speech. That investigation culminated in Schaffer's firing in September. Before it, Schaffer had also publicly clashed with Beck an outspoken Mormon who also sucks. In May, Schaefer tweeted that members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are, quote, going to hell because, quote, Mormons are not Christians.
And so, but if you notice, now that, he said something negative about his dad because, I don't know, he had to live with his dad his whole life and his dad was a prick to him his whole life. But apparently you're not even allowed to say that because the number one rule is never ever criticize Republicans no matter how much they deserve it and no matter how much they hurt you personally, okay? But the minute that they think that Christian has flipped or turned or said anything that they don't agree with that has not been authorized, instantly they're like, yeah, he's gay. You notice that? The comment about like, oh yeah, here's what Straka said about gay people. In other words, we knew we should have never trusted them. Okay, well that's who you are, you're hateful bigots. And by the way, Christian, you knucklehead, that's how all of the right wingers are. You think they're your friends? They're not your friends, they're just using you. And now that they can't use you anymore because you had one moment of independent thought, hey, look at that, you find yourself on the underside of a bus. Because they never cared about you.
It's all about,
you were just a prop, a tool.